performer is a poet, and he goes by the name of Maestro Gamin. Give it up for Maestro Gamin, please, ladies and gentlemen. Let me hear some mad energy. Keep it going. There you go.
Thanks so much for having me.
Hey, thanks for having us here. This is really cool. We got to drive all the way from Highland Park for this, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Horchateria and just beautiful people, and so thank you. I'm gonna do this one poem called Jujajaco. I was reading an article a little while ago online, and it was about how they had found this girl up in the mountains, and she was the best preserved mummy in the history of Latin America, I guess. And so the scientists went up there and did their thing, and it just got me to thinking of a few things. So, Shushajaku. You know, the article talked about the man and how he climbed the freezing heights in search of indigenous, in search of ritual, and Jujajaku. The desecration made them daring, the freezing temperatures made them worthy, and they labeled the layers of rock curious. And the need to study disregarded everything relative to anything sacred, precious, lineage intact were not words written in this article, only gold and silver statues. And then I read the word preserved, and they referred to the children. And then I read sacrifice, and that they looked as though they had been killed only a few weeks ago. And I thought something of context must have been left out before arriving here, and I thought of how things may be killed, and I thought of how things may be left to die on a mountain, in words. And I thought how that girl might have been left, and how something in her survived long enough to now be studied, to be reworded, to be consigned to an act of murder, or murder in the name of science and study. And I thought, why not study where all the Jujajaco went once they were discovered? And I thought, now will you dig up your slave-holding presidents and study their teeth? And I thought, much had to have been forgotten or lost or studied and rewritten to arrive there at that place. And then I read the comments. Those who never planned on visiting Jujajaco, decrying child sacrifice, morally fortified by their own willingness to speak out on behalf of all the dead children, within context, within convenience, as if they knew that must be what it was, and they threw words at the dead, at the drugged back and studied, as if their schools hadn't buried children under the ground that looked just like her, teaching what the teachers know today. So now we study the studiers, and we reteach those who should have been learning, and we hold our spaces sacred to make up for lost time. And something keeps telling me that we've only scratched the surface. I only have a few, so this one is called Paul Rubens. My sister tells me that she's tired of everything that she loves dying. She doesn't like it here anymore. I tell her, that's a good line, though. And I think to myself how we all go sometime, and I think, what do we leave? And I think what stays? And who holds on to it? And then I tell her I'm taking that line, but I'm gonna give it back to her in the poem. Let's got one more. This is all not planned at all. I don't know which ones I'm gonna read. Hey. Not that one. This is from my pop. It's called "Time is Unfair." I don't tell anyone how I think of you now, or how the thoughts you live in make every breath behind every "I love you" want to rush out all at once. Or how when they can't find you that they speed up like some kind of child's panic, some dumb, clumsy, frantic grasp. Or how time becomes less real and more mirage, playing with my memory with some dark energy in the distance. And how I feel more stubborn and dumb the older that I get. Because a memory doesn't age like I do. nor how the possibility of you not being at times can flash me into point 0.3 milliseconds of terror, how it pushes the water softly through my beard over my cheeks, or how when my chest finally slows down and comes back to me, fooling me for the 6,873rd time out of infinity, that I still can't say I know where heaven is, but hell might be some place where I love yous don't quite reach, and every good thing afterwards seems to come too late, turns into some weight taking up space just to see if it can, making you selfish since it can't be shared, forcing you to hold on to it and let go of something else in its place. Holding on to who you used to be and how you would have shared it. And the only thought is, time is so unfair. How it grants wishes and removes those who know why you did it in the first place. I know you know what I mean.